Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hapnin podcast, and today we're going to be interviewing Myles Gaffney. So Myles, what, for all the people who doesn't know, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Myles Gaffney and I'm a professional songwriter.
So, do you play any instruments along with singing and songwriting?
I do. Well, I'm mainly the guitar, but I originally started as a drummer through Trinity College in London. Kind of got fed up with that after phase 3 because there's too much studying involved. And then I got guitars, and then after that I went on to wind instruments, like whistles and flutes and stuff. And then if it was a string instrument, I'd pick it up and I'd probably get a sound out of it. And so
That sounds like us, where we could just like pick up an instrument and you just like have an idea of how to play it.
yeah.
So, do you have like a specific inspiration that made you want to start music?
Not really. Like, there was always music in the house growing up. My dad would have a big collection of all genres of music, from the Eagles to the ELO to Christy Moore to the Furies, Wolf Tones, and I was intrigued by Queen. I thought they were a great band, and so we had this Queen live at Wembley tape. Remember the old tapes at home? And before I had a drum kit, I'd have pots and dishes and 2 spoons. I'd be playing along to Roger Taylor on the telly.
I love that.
And I suppose I always wanted to perform, really, and then when the opportunity came there a few years ago, I took it.
Nice.
Do you have a favourite performance that you've done?
I would. I done Cypress Avenue there in 2018 maybe, and it was the first time that I was able to sell myself, as in tickets, that I wasn't relying on a publican or a hotel to pay me.
Yeah.
It was my first ticket outing, and we sold out Cypress Avenue 2 nights in a row. So it was, I was delighted, because when it was launched on a Friday, they rang me and said, "Look, there's only like 13 tickets left. Do you want to go for a second night?" And I said, "Well, if it's there, do." And that sold as well. You know. So
Jesus. I feel like playing Cypress Avenue is like a big thing as well.
And I know you were doing a lot through lockdown as well. Can you explain to everybody what you were doing when everybody was in the kind of peak lockdown?
Well, what I was doing really was just, I wouldn't be a fan of that Facebook Live stuff. I wouldn't really, to be honest. But any chance I got to do it, I would. But what was it again? Was there something about nurses, wasn't it? I can't remember now. But I was asked to just play outside the house, and I did it.
Yeah.
And there were so many people came in from surrounding areas around here that I had to stop.
Yeah.
Because we were all unsure at the time about the virus, and what no one knew exactly what we were dealing with, really.
Yeah.
But then after a couple of weeks, then we hit the summertime. Remember, it was March and we went into the summer. So I used to set up the whole setup out on the terrace,
Outside, yeah.
and everybody would just sit down in the front of their houses with their tea and their wine or whatever, and I'd play away for an hour or 2 out there for them, like.
Yeah, I remember being able to hear it from my house around the corner.
Family would be like out the back, and we'd be like, "Oh, we hear him."
Yeah, my cousin is living in Hillcrest, and he heard it. Another friend of mine's living in Arcullen, and he was able to hear it as well.
It was just echoing throughout knocking.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because see, the streets are so quiet.
Yeah.
It was just able to travel, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, do you have a favourite singer?
I would, I suppose. I mean, Christy Moore's obviously a big influence, and has become a friend of mine over the last maybe 18 months. But believe it or not, I took a lot of influence from Tupac Shakur. I just thought, I wasn't really into rap music, but there was a cousin of mine who had all Tupac stuff. So I started listening to songs like I Ain't Mad at Ya and Brenda's Got the Baby and all those songs, and his lyrical content of his songs had meaning, and I was able to connect my own kind of writing now, and his rhyming pattern. Do you know the way they rhyme, rappers? It's just natural to them, so I kind of learned a lot from listening to Tupac and Mark Knopfler as well from Dire Straits. You know,
I definitely wasn't expecting that.
Huh?
I really wasn't expecting that.
Weren't you?
No. I just...
You were just sticking to like the Irish stuff. You weren't thinking of the rap bit at all, were you?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
never really comes to mind, like...
Have you ever tried busking?
No,
I'd be terrified to do that.
no.
I feel like that's like
I often gave buskers a couple of bob, but I never done it myself. I was playing in the Pav one night. That was, geez, I forgot about that one. Geez, that was huge. Like, there was 550 tickets sold for it. It was the first time, again, that I kind of went for this whole ticket thing on your own with your own songs, and obviously you threw in the Irish favourites as well that you'd be known to sing. But I was walking down Carey's Lane. I can't remember his name now. There was a fella there busking, and I just listened to him while we were waiting to go into play, and I threw a few bob into his hat, and he said, "Oh, Myles, are you playing in the Pav after?" And I said, "I am." And he said, "You said love to go." And I said, "Well, come on, so." So he threw his guitar into the case, and then he came in with us, and he was there for the night.
that's so. I love moments like that where it's just like so spontaneous. We're like, oh, she may as well. It's so funny. Have you ever been like nominated for any awards to do with music, or have you won any awards to do with music?
I have 2 Grammy nominations at the 60th Grammys in Los Angeles,
Oh my god.
and I have the Irish Folk Album of the Year in 2017.
Nice.
Oh my god.
You know,
Grammys is like, that's like up there, like that's huge.
I was in the same category as Bruno Mars.
Oh my god.
I thought it was a wind up myself.
Oh my god.
I'd actually would have thinking that was like,
It's the power of the internet,
it's
isn't it?
like,
You know, just one
imagine being
song.
like, oh yeah, you're nominated for 2 Grammys. I'd be like, that's a scam.
Yeah, I thought it was as well. And until I realised it wasn't, and then I got the cert. You know, you get a cert. It says all the bells and whistles on it, like, you know, the whole category, and I got good recognition from that, and I was able to fall in them with Warner Brothers in Los Angeles as well, where you get critics, and you can send them a song, and then they'll criticise you, and I mean they will criticise you, and it gives you kind of a know where you're at kind of a thing. Then what you need to brush up on, what was good and what was bad, and it's all a learning curve. And then I'm in the position now where the last 14 songs we recorded kind of through the lockdown, I only actually, before I left the house, I got a phone call to say the digital download will be ready. Their CD Baby, which are the online kind of supplier, that they're just revising the content. But it was my first time standing over everything.
Yeah.
You know, where I said, no, I don't want that. You can do that, but no, don't do that. All along I felt like it was like an apprenticeship in the studio, do you get me?
Yeah.
Where I felt that these kind of guys knew more than me. And I just sat back and watched what they were doing and basically learned off them. And I'm pretty happy and confident with the new stuff that we have, like, because I can't fault it because it was all me.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Is there any like new music that you have coming out, or is there any recent songs that you've released, or?
Yeah, I just finished an album there, and it's called Soldier On. There's a song on it called Soldier On as well.
Yeah.
All came from the title came from a fella. He mailed me, and he asked me to come to the hospital to play, and I said to him, I thought about it for a while, and then I mailed him back and I said, are you an employee or are you a patient? And he said, I'm a patient. And he said that I listen to music a lot and it helps me mentally, that he wasn't coping really well. And so I said to him, look, I couldn't actually perform in the hospital, but maybe someday I'll shoot in. So I said nothing. A few weeks later I just popped in on spec and we had a chat, and I just said to him, you know, Soldier On. It just came into something to say, like Soldier On. And when I was walking home from the hospital up Shannon Street, I said to myself, she said, go home, write a song called Soldier On. So the Soldier On song is kind of an anthem for people with mental health, and the hidden messages in the song, you know.
Yeah.
When you're what is it? I can't even remember the words of my own song. It's when you're counting sheep, trying to get some sleep, and your whole world is up in a heap, just soldier on, you know.
I love that.
And there's all different. See, all my albums will have something about sport, mental health, drug issues, happiness, joy, heartbreak, love. We'll have something for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
The sports song on this would be the Liam Miller one that I done for that match. Remember the match in Parky Queeve against Manchester United and Celtic?
Yeah.
Well, I wrote that song and it was taken on the Virgin Media Ireland and TV3 at the time. They took it and used it for the game, you know. And,
Jesus.
what else have we got on it? Oh, we have the song that got me into loads of trouble, Big Joe Joyce. There's other songs that I done with Joe Duffy. You know Joe Duffy, the RT presenter?
Yeah.
He wrote 2 books, Children of the Rising, which is about the 1916 Rising, and The Troubles, which would be kind of more modern, 1969 up. And so I've done a couple of songs out of his books as well. There's a good variety on it, a good mixture, you know.
Where'd you get like your inspiration for your songs?
It could be anything. You could say something to me, you know, I'd clock it, say nothing and go away and do it. I don't really watch television because it pours on me energy into music and my career. It could be anything, newspaper, reading a book, a newspaper, anything, and something on the radio, anything, and I'd take note of it, and then when the time comes, then when one song is finished, we move on to the next one, we take out the notes and we say, I'll do that one, and then I research it.
Yeah.
But I'd often ring people then as well, like, and travel. I've been to England, Scotland, across the border a lot, meeting people who played a big part in Irish history, or in our culture, but would never be kind of recognised through music.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I hunt the idea, and I hunt the person, really.
Just tracking them down, being like, let's find my inspiration.
Yeah.
Has there been ever, whenever you're on stage, has anything happened that like went wrong, but nobody else noticed but you, or like people like you or people on like in the background could notice, but like the audience didn't notice?
There was we got the last Cypress Avenue gig in 2019, just before the pandemic. We got it filmed, and I still haven't seen it, but that's another story. But what happened was I had wrote this song called Where Were You When You Were 21, and it's about a fella from Passage, actually. It's only down the road, but it's one of my strongest songs actually to come out now. There's a great story to it, but anyway, we were waiting behind the curtain to go on the stage, and there's myself and a fella called Keelan Kenny. He plays with me all the time. He's part of the kind of team, like he records as well, and he's always there. Yeah. And the curtain moved, you see, and I saw a face in the crowd, and I said to myself, oh, I'm after forgetting what's the words to this opening of the song. And he says, what, you're joking me? I said, your man's family are in the audience. And I said, I'm gone blank. So I sent him out onto the stage, ran back into the green room, got my phone, went through it, only found a recording of it, so I had to listen to it because I couldn't read it. And your man was out on the stage and he's on for 2.5 minutes. and everyone was like, I actually saw video footage because people were waiting, like, and he's just sitting there with his guitar, and every now and again his head would go. And it dragged. He said to me after, it felt like an hour. And I was after forgetting the words because the song was so new.
Yeah.
And there was so much going on in my head of what we were playing and how it was going to go. I just went blank. I just could not. And we had another night, and we said, "Where's the sound engineer?" And I answered, "He's over there." But it was after being changed to a digital desk, you know, like your phone, like just, you know. It wasn't the old style anymore. And your man says, "Sure, I know how to work that."
Oh my god!
And we were like, "What? Like we're playing in an hour?" And he was like, "I know what you're going to do, lads." Lucky. If there were 7 of us playing that night, one of the lads there on the night, he had his experience on it, so he jumped down and just said to your man, "We'll set it at that and don't touch it." You know, and we got away with it. Like, there's loads of things.
Wouldn't it be the same, like, if it was digital? Like, it's just the same thing, but
it's
like,
not as different. It's very different.
Probably would be.
You know, like, you have to lock it in, and you know, another time I had a fella played support to me, we won't say his name. And so he finished and we went into the room and he was lying on a couch watching himself. Someone had filmed him and then gave it to him, so he's watching his performance, and I was walking around. I said, "You want to see 6 small bottles of water around there?" And I looked down next to him and there was the 6 bottles of water empty. The man took them on for himself and drank them on me. I had no water.
He drank the 6 bottles of water.
He drank the whole lot.
Oh my God. That's so funny. I can't even think of any. Can you think of any like times that something ever went wrong for us? All I can remember is just like someone like singing the wrong part or I don't.
Cara gave me a fake nose piercing one time when it fell out mid-performance and we
yeah.
it. And everyone was just staring at us because Cara was like, Sophie, your nose. Your nose. I was like, what?
Because we accidentally wore like the same jumper. So we were basically matching like the whole day and we both have like ponytails in and then I was like, you know what, Sophie, here, take this fake nose ring and I'd one in as well. And then I saw that it fell out of her nose. So I kept tapping my nose and she was like...
No clue what she was doing.
She was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, your nose ring fell out. Like literally mid-performance as we're singing. I was skating. That seems to be...
Like the word. Or we performed in Dublin for World Children's Day.
Oh,
and
cool.
As one of the parts, we had a red carpet, and me and Cara were meant to go up and roll out the red carpet for one of the lines, and instead one of the lads went up and he kicked it and it just went flying off the stage. And we just didn't know what to do. We were like...
Yeah, because the lyric was like, I got a red carpet on my own ramp. So me and Sophie were supposed to go over and like lay out the red carpet, but I don't think Gary told the other fella. So he just went over and tried to kick out the red carpet, but kicked the entire thing just off the stage.
It just went flying.
It was so
we were
funny.
Just laughing like we didn't know what to do.
Okay, guys. So I just want to quickly say sorry. We had a bit of technical difficulties about the camera. The camera kind of went dead, but we just have like 1 or 2 more questions to ask. So if the camera does cut out, I really want to say sorry about that. But yeah. Anyway, so for May 1st on the Black Market, how do you feel about that performance?
You know what? I'm delighted to be a part of. I think it's absolutely fantastic. To Roy, Paul, and all everybody, it was unbelievable. The camaraderie and the togetherness and the group. When Roy explained it to me, I wasn't really, I didn't know where his direction was going, but I was willing to follow him anyway. And he asked me to kind of get involved, and I said, yeah, obviously for my own people, of course I would, I actually knew Ross, do you know what I mean, as well, so it was a privilege to be invited on with such other great people. I'm looking forward to it on the day, and looking forward to seeing a lot of familiar faces, and then looking forward to see all the children happy in memory of Ross. I think it's a fantastic initiative, and I actually hope the lads take it forward and make a yearly thing out of it. It doesn't have to be a CD launch, but it could just be a fun day for the community and a togetherness for us all, and
yeah,
be there for one another.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
And what can we expect from you specifically at Black Market?
Well, I'm going to throw a few sponges anyway, and hopefully get into a bouncy castle or something. And no, I'm just looking forward to going up, North Side till I die will always be the tune for all the lads and the people in the audience, and for the people that come from the south side. I can accommodate them as well. It's a good slagging, and when your competition are there, Timmy and James from the Two Norries, they have their own verse in the song, so we'll throw that out there for them as well. But I'd say for sure, look, we'll have the crack, and we might even sing something for the children and get them all going. We'll go up the floor, we'll read the crowd.
I feel like it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be
so fun. Thanks very much for coming up anyway.
No problem.
Thanks for taking time out of your day. Sorry about all the technical difficulties off of the thing.
So I live across the road.
Yeah. Thanks very much for coming.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Is there anything else you would like to promote, like your music and stuff like that?
Yeah. Just have a new album coming out. I'm actually, do you know what? I'm actually waiting next week to give the boys a good plug for the Black Market. Next week I'll go hammer and tongs at that, and I'm going to I actually held off. I was supposed to bring it out on April 15th, but I held off because I didn't want it to clash, and both of us, instead of working together, working against each other.
Yeah.
I want to maximise their event, and then afterwards I can concentrate myself, So it'll be out I think around the 13th of May or 14th of May. Soldier on, it's called. Keep soldiering on and don't get down. Keep your head up and everything will be alright.
I love that.
So and get me back. I want to come back to your podcast.
We'll bring you back.
Sure.
Right.
Don't you worry.
We're here all the time at this point anyway.
We practically live here. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you guys again later. Bye.